Crispin Lobo and Water have been working for a long period, almost 30 years plus, on watershed programs with variety of partners in several states of India. And they have innovated on several issues, including bringing climate change agenda into watershed programs. Can we have you, Crispin? Please switch on your video, and we'd like to listen from you.
All right. I see in the past, you see, watershed had a very single focus, that is increase agriculture productivity, and therefore water was the main thing. How do you capture as much as possible? But today, we need to bring in 4 perspectives into this whole business of watershed development. One is ecosystems. We realize that everything is interrelated, and if we do not take care of this foundational base of ecosystem, which is the base of watersheds, it's not going to work. Next thing is, of course, income increase for farmers as well as for local communities. Third is we need to look at it from the perspective of sustainability. That means the future. And which means, of course, managing the commons, which is not only natural resources, but particularly water, and back to groundwater, soil health and biodiversity. And fourthly, we need to look at it from the lens of resilience and adaptation, because climate change and market volatility is now a way of life. It's inevitable. And the focus of all these, bringing these perspectives together, is, I would submit, to bring about attitudinal and behavioral change of people and communities with the purpose of building both the resilience and adaptive capacities of local communities and people living in a particular region. So at the end of it, these 4 perspectives need to be brought together to facilitate and incentivize behavioral change to build adaptive and resilience capacities. Number 1. Number 2, while implementation of watershed projects can micro in terms of its planning and therefore resource management, we need to take a wider scale, probably between 20 to 25,000 hectares instead of just 1,000 or so, because of hydrological linkages. So upstream, downstream linkages have to be henceforth factored in large-scale watershed development programs. Otherwise, we could run into huge negative or adverse externalities which could cause social and political backlash also. So we need to keep in mind all these stakeholders in both the upstream and downstream approaches. The third thing is, it's fine to capture as much rainwater wherever you can, to the extent that it also meets hydrological demands both upstream and downstream. The focus should now be on managing better in terms of effective use as well as productivity of water use, be it surface, be it soil moisture, be it stored water, or be it underground aquifer water. We need to really work out ways in which demand management becomes a focus. Now we also have to keep in mind climate change as well as market volatility, because that's going to screw up everything good that we do above. We need to really factor that, and we need to use a lot of technologies right down to the village level to be able to manage the synergies as well as the negative outcomes of these various subsystems that are interacting often at odds with each other, number 1. Number 2, given the challenges today and the complexity of situations around us, unless we collaborate across sectors, that means government, private sector, CSOs, technical institutions, unless we really collaborate, we're not going to be able to achieve much today in terms of sustainability of watershed projects, or even in terms of optimal productivity gains that we can achieve. We need to do it, therefore, also at scale, and we need to focus on specific regions or geographies. Why geography? You need a certain size for things to really play out into their full potential. For instance, if you talk of farmer-producer companies, they're not going to be viable with just 1 or 2 watersheds. Maybe you need to have something like 30,000 hectares, a catchment of 30,000 hectares, 40,000 hectares. You need these kind of scales to be able to generate synergies as well as to see impact, and therefore also then develop best practices for behavioral changes which can be emulated and upscaled. Now, what are we in water doing? We've been working on, of course, on the supply side part of for watershed for a long time, but now, since quite some years, now over a decade and a half, we've been working on the climate change aspects and its implications. So into watershed development, into water stewardship, which includes water budgeting, crop planning, productivization, improving the efficiency of water use, including groundwater and aquifer management. We've done quite considerable work both in the conceptual level as well as at the practical level. And it's available, that approach and technology is available. The other thing is into climate smart, or rather climate resilient agriculture, which is also nature friendly or eco-friendly. Considerable work has been done in that regard, particularly in the area of agrometeorology, where we have been working with the ICR system as well as the IMD to generate crop weather advisories to farmers coming down right to the block level. And recently we launched an app, an Android-based app called Farm Precise, which actually allows a farmer to get customized advisories to his field, to the farm. That a lot of development has happened in that regard. The beta version is launched, it's under test, but it's available, and it's in 3 languages right now. It is in Marathi, Hindi, and Telugu. So it's been launched in some parts of Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, and parts of Telangana also. And it's available. I mean, anyone who wants to use it is free to do so. And we would welcome feedback because it can improve. That's one. And the other part is we're working on a water budgeting app, which has already undergone trials and will be available. And then the whole issue of agrometallurgy and precision farming. We need to really move into application of technologies that smallholder farmers can use, which will involve, of course, managing soil moisture regimes, managing crops, and managing soil health. And this is, of course, and we are also expanding our portfolio of training programs and learning events for NGOs, for villages, and for development practitioners, which are always available. That's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Crispin, for bringing several important issues, including new apps in watershed context, which are customized for the agriculture precision-related issues. You brought scale as an important agenda, which will serve better ecosystem services as well as some kind of institutional arrangements also to deal with upstream, lower stream kind of issues and also help in better planning. Thanks for all those inputs to you, inputs from you. Thanks to you for that.